Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel, Bachelor Show. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. What happens when one man rises to the top in a fierce competition for love? On the Golden Bachelorette, Frontrunner Chock is not only catching Joan's eye, but also sparking serious tension among the other men. Jealousy is heating up, and we're diving deep into why Chock's status is causing so much drama. For those of you who have been following the Golden Bachelorette, you know that this season is anything but typical. Joan, our fabulous leading lady, is making waves as the Bachelorette, and the men vying for her affection are bringing their A-game. But one contestant, Chock, has quickly separated himself from the pack, and his frontrunner status isn't sitting well with the other men. From behind-the-scenes gossip to on-screen tensions, it's clear that Chock's connection with Joan is making some suitors very uncomfortable. Chock's rise to frontrunner status. So, how did Chock go from just another contestant to Joan's undeniable favorite? Well, it all started during one of their early one-on-one dates. Joan and Chock hit it off almost immediately, bonding over shared life experiences and an undeniable chemistry. Unlike some of the other men, Chock didn't come off as overly competitive at first. He was cool, calm, and focused on building a genuine connection with Joan. And Joan, she noticed. Their conversations were deep and heartfelt, setting Chock apart as someone who wasn't just there to play games. But it wasn't just about their connection, it was also Chock's charm. He had this way of making Joan feel special, like she was the only woman in the room. It didn't take long before Joan started giving him more attention, signaling to the other men that Chock might be the one to beat. Why the other men are jealous. Now, here's where things start to get interesting. The more time Joan spent with Chock, the more noticeable the rift became between him and the other suitors. Some of the men began to feel overshadowed, especially those who hadn't yet had a real chance to connect with Joan. Let's face it, when you're competing for one woman's heart in a group setting, it's hard not to compare yourself to the others. For many of the men, watching Chock and Joan's growing connection was a painful reminder that they weren't progressing as fast. And the jealousy? Oh, it was real. One of the key reasons the other suitors are upset is because Joan's attention on Chock makes them feel like they're falling behind. There's a growing fear that no matter what they do, Joan's heart is already with him. And when you're vying for love, that can be a tough pill to swallow. The signs of jealousy. You might be wondering how we know the other men are jealous. Well, we've seen several clear signs both on and off camera. Let's break it down. Tense conversations. One of the biggest indicators of jealousy came during group dates. Some of the men couldn't hide their frustration when Chock received more attention from Joan. You might have noticed how awkward it got when Chock walked in the room, with a few side glances and tense body language from the others. Passive-aggressive comments. It wasn't long before the snide remarks started flying. During confessionals, several of the men started making not-so-subtle comments about how Chock was monopolizing Joan's time. These passive-aggressive digs were aimed at making Chock seem like the villain, even though on the surface he hadn't done anything wrong. Isolation. Interestingly, Chock's frontrunner status has also led to him being somewhat isolated in the house. The closer he gets to Joan, the more the other men are pulling away from him. Instead of forming alliances or friendships, it seems like the other suitors are shutting him out. Group date drama. The tension reached a boiling point during a recent group date. While most of the men were trying to impress Joan, it became obvious that some of them were more focused on Chock than on their own interactions with her. At one point, a few suitors even seemed to team up to make sure Chock didn't get any extra time with Joan. Why is Joan so drawn to Chock? What makes him stand out compared to the other men? Genuine connection. First and foremost, Joan seems to feel a genuine connection with Chock. He's been open, honest, and vulnerable with her from the start, which has allowed their relationship to grow organically. This level of authenticity is something Joan clearly values. Emotional intelligence. Chock isn't just charming, he's emotionally intelligent. He knows how to navigate deep conversations with Joan, making her feel understood and appreciated. In a show that often focuses on surface-level attractions, this emotional depth has given him a major advantage. Shared values. Joan has been clear about the qualities she's looking for in a partner, and it's evident that she and Chock share many of the same values. Whether it's their views on family, life goals, or what they want out of a relationship, Joan and Chock are aligned in ways that some of the other men simply aren't. Confidence without arrogance. Chock has managed to walk that fine line between confidence and arrogance. While some of the other men have become cocky or overly competitive, Chock remains grounded, which is something Joan respects. Why this jealousy is so intense? But why has the jealousy among the other men reached such a fever pitch? Well, part of it has to do with the competitive nature of the show. Every man wants to be Joan's final pick, and when someone starts pulling ahead, it can be demoralizing. Another factor is the limited time each suitor has with Joan. In a regular dating scenario, you can take your time, get to know someone, and let the relationship develop. But in the Golden Bachelorette, time is of the essence. When one man starts getting more of it, it leaves the others scrambling to make an impression. And lastly, there's the emotional toll. These men are invested, emotionally and mentally. Watching someone else develop a close bond with Joan is tough, especially when feelings are already involved. How Chock is handling the pressure. So how is Chock dealing with all this pressure? Surprisingly, he stayed pretty calm throughout the whole process. While the other men are clearly feeling the heat, Chock has kept a low profile, staying focused on his connection with Joan rather than getting wrapped up in the drama. In one of his confessionals, Chock even mentioned that he's aware of the tension but is choosing not to let it affect his time with Joan. That kind of maturity and level-headedness is exactly why Joan seems to be falling for him even more. What could happen next? Predictions for the show. So, where does this all lead? With Chock clearly in the lead, there's no doubt that the other men will either have to step up their game or risk being eliminated. But there's always the chance that the jealousy could backfire. In past seasons of similar shows, we've seen frontrunners lose favor because of house drama. If the men's jealousy becomes too much of a distraction, it could start to negatively impact Joan's feelings toward Chock. On the flip side, Joan might see how the other men are reacting and realize that Chock is the only one who's staying true to himself. That could cement his status as her top pick. In the end, the battle for Joan's heart is far from over. While Chock might be in the lead now, there's still plenty of time for things to change. One thing is for sure, the other suitors aren't happy, and the jealousy is only going to get worse as the season continues. What do you think? Is Chock destined to be Joan's final pick, or will the other men's jealousy throw a wrench in their budding romance? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.